Hey guys, it's me, Carly, and today I want to come and talk to you about something that has been bugging me for a while and that I've recently come to this discovery, and that is the show Degrassi. Now, let me start off by saying, sorry, I'm adjusting the camera, is that I love Degrassi. I've watched the show with Emma and Spinner and Jimmy / Drake, but now, I'm only going to talk about the next generation, not the one that came like years before it when Snake was still a kid, because I haven't seen much of those episodes, but I think it'd be interesting. But anyway, now I think they have good storylines, but when it comes to people of color, blacks, and Asians, definitely Asians, they don't write them well at all. So, here we go. First, I'll start with the slightly okay characters. Jimmy, Spinner's best friend, rich, a little bit privileged, and then shot by Rick in a wheelchair. Ended up in a wheelchair by Rick, and he had a recording artist. Jimmy had interesting storylines, and he designed his own logo for a shirt that he was selling. So, Jimmy had he had good storylines and he was a pretty good standalone character, but they could have done him a little better. And then Ashley with the whole demo controlling thing, yeah, I didn't really like that. You know who they don't write well? Hazel. Hazel Auden, played by the beautiful Andrea Lewis, who happened... I prefer her role in Cadet Kelly than I do to Hazel because she does not feel like a main character in Degrassi. She got one storyline, she was a Muslim, and then that's it. No more storylines for her. She's, sorry, I keep squirming. She's not really... She's just boring. She was a boring character. She was Paige's side... She was, like, Paige's token black best friend. She was Jimmy's black girlfriend. But she didn't do anything for the rest of it. Like, she's supposed to be a main character, and you only give her one semi-decent storyline that could have been compelling? No, you didn't do her justice whatsoever, and you didn't utilize her the way you should have. We never met her parents, we don't know if she has siblings, we know that she was a virgin when she left high school. What is she doing in college? Is she still friends with Paige? Dude, she's never even mentioned once she's gone. Like, she got detention once because she got caught surfing porn, and that's about it. She does and then she got into the fight with Alex, that was Paige's girlfriend at the time, that she tried to become friends with Alex, and Hazel did not get enough storylines to make me think or believe she was a main character despite being listed as a cast regular. Yeah, so Hazel deserved better. I feel bad for her and the writing around her. Moving on. Anyone remember the kid named Chris? Don't worry, I'll give you a few seconds. Yeah, Chris was that one kid he was one black kid well, not the one black kid, but he was a black kid, he dated Emma, and then he sort of dated Liberty, and then he got no storylines, no story of his own. He was just sort of there to be attractive and be... I don't even know what the point of his role in the show was. Like, seriously, he was such a worthless character. Not because he was black, because the way he was written, and I don't even know why he was a character. He didn't even feel like a character, just someone to fill the spot so Emma can get back with Sean. Although we all know that Emma married Spinner, which doesn't even make any sense because I'm gonna get to, maybe that's another video for later. Anyway, yeah, Chris, boring and pointless, no storyline other than dating Emma and Liberty. Liberty had okay storylines, except they killed off her boyfriend. Or we know she had a crush on JT for 4 years, and then she finally got him. Then he died because he was stabbed. And then there was the whole her in college thing where she beats up Lucas, sort of, not really, but she pushes him because he insults JT's death and mocks it. She gets one racist storyline. We don't know about her baby. And, like, zero connection. Like, what happened? Why is she not having more storylines? Because she is best friends with Emma and Manny, and she's really smart, but yet not a good story. There's like no storylines except that one racist storyline where she streaked through campus naked, and her friends thought she could teach hip-hop dance, but other than that, Liberty is the character. She's a so-so character. Then we have our lovely boy, F-boy, Damien, who is... he was that one preppy black kid from Lakehurst who was also going to be valedictorian. Nothing. Like, he dated Emma, he dated Manny, and then he dated Liberty. Or, well, he hooked up with Liberty. They didn't have sex, but they all sort of dated him, which was just weird, and he didn't have a storyline either, other than the fact there was a deleted scene where he admitted being friends with Drake, the kid who stabbed JT York, but nothing. No interesting storylines for him either. Jimmy was probably the only semi-decent character to ever be written for. The only semi-decent black character to be somewhat well-rounded, and he was a good positive influence. But he deserved better too. I mean, like I said, he's rich. He's rich. He's a privileged black kid, sort of. He is a then he got shot by Rick. And then he dated Hazel, Hazel was just a sad, boring character. And that's not her fault, that's the writing for her character. Yeah. Danny Van Zant, Liberty's brother. He's a curly-headed guy. And then somehow went out with Shantae, who I'll get to in a second because she confuses me and I don't know how old she is. We know that Danny Van Zant also comes from a rich family, sort of. His friend, Derek, puts underwear in his bag, and the racist lady from the store thinks he did it, and that's pretty much the only storyline that he got. And then he dated Liar Leia, who I'll also get to in a few minutes when I get to the Asian characters that they completely crap on. He barely had any storyline, and all we know is that he graduated high school, yeah, and I shipped him with Jane BTW, and then he just didn't do much other than be an annoying, goofy, curly-headed twin with Derek Haig, who became a bully for whatever stupid reason. Who else did they not write well? Tiny Ziggs, the newer black character. he's kind of from a ghetto-ish background, and I don't mean that to sound racist, but he is. It's like, sorry I keep moving, but okay, we knew he sold drugs. His brother Vince raped Bianca. He shot someone. He was stabbed. Oh, I mean, Vince shot someone. Tiny was stabbed by Damien, and then he is in a gang, and then he was, and he's super smart. Like, can we please get a backstory? Can we please have some more compelling storylines for Tiny? Because I think he has the potential to be a very interesting character. And he dated Lola, and then now he's dating Shay. Oh. Yeah. Oh! Yeah. Shantae. How old is she? Because there's a whole cover song of Shantae dedicated to Shantae called No Shantae, which is in the Scrub theme song, like a scrub is a boy, da 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 da. Go check it out. Look up No Shantae. Her storyline's boring. Like, she was in season 4. She was friends with Manny. She didn't graduate till season 11, so they kept retconning her character, and I have no idea how old she's supposed to be, but she graduated with Holly J, even though that's a little bit inaccurate. And just one question, why did Holly J go to Lakehurst and Heather Sinclair go to Degrassi? They're sisters, even though they're adoptive sisters. I don't get that. Yeah, but Shantae, barely no storylines. We didn't get to meet her parent. Apparently, she is like an all gossipy blog. She's going out with Danny Van Zant. Which, please, how old is she? And then Riley kissed her, and she doesn't do anything except one day. The only storyline she got was she put a bunch of sticky notes all over Mr. Simpson's car for cutting out activity as a form of protest, and then that's her only storyline. Like, that's a pretty lame storyline. They don't write her well at all. Marisol, Katie's black best friend, she's the girlfriend of Mo, or was the girlfriend of Mo. And then Zig ripped her off once, and she's kind of bitchy and backstabbed Fiona and Imogen for the whole vandalizing the hallway thing. No storyline at all. Sorry I keep moving, but zero storyline for her, other than her helping Katie through her oxycodone addiction. And oh my gosh, I don't know why they don't write people of color particularly well. Connor, he's Mr. Simpson's godson. We know he has Asperger's. We know he's in the gifted program. But if he's Mr. Simpson's godson, why are we not seeing who his parents are? How did he meet Mr. Simpson's parents? Or, what I mean is, how did Connor's parents meet Mr. Simpson's, Mr. Simpson, Archie Simpson? Like, how did he become his godson? We never got a backstory on that. We know he's autistic. And then he had the whole dumb storyline of him stealing ladies' underwear, and then he's dating Jenna, which I actually am surprised I like that couple, because I didn't think I'd like it. That's another thing, too. They don't do biracial couples particularly well. Sorry, I keep fumbling over my words, but still. Connor? Like, maybe and then he had that whole storyline where he talked to that strange lady online because He's unaware of the dangers because of his Asperger's, or however you want to say it. But it's just... we never got to see how or why, or how he got to know or became Mr. Simpson's godson, or we never met his parents, so if that bothered me, it also bothered me that we never actually saw him and Spike interact, or him and Emma interact, so I have a lot of questions. Who else? Oh, Shay. I think Shay, that whole racist storyline with Frankie of her drawing that one girl as a monkey because of a get even prank, and they're called the zoo, and Frankie wasn't trying to be racist, but I don't know. I don't like how they handle storylines either. Shay, Black, we saw her parents once. She's really smart, likes dating Tiny. She's rich, I'm assuming, and she's athletic, so I hope they give Shay, Tiny, just give the Black characters better storylines. And I'm not trying to sound like an SJW, but I've come to notice this, and this is becoming an issue. Now, for the somewhat Latina characters, Manny Santos, overall well-rounded character. Not too much to say about her writing. I mean, she wanted to be a model. She moved in with Emma. She was called a slut by her own dad. And she got into a fight with every single one of Spinner's ex-girlfriends. I mean, Paige, Darcy, then Jane, and then she took Spinner's virginity. We know she wanted to be, as I said, wanted to be a model. She wanted to be an actress. She had a lot going for her, so I really did enjoy Manny, and I did enjoy watching her as a character. She's one of my favorite characters. Okay, Angela, well, she's not really a useful character, but the actress who played Angela, Joey's daughter, she also played Tori, Alex Steele, who is actually the real-life sister to, Cassidy Steele? No, not Cassidy Steele. I'm gonna look her up in a minute. Cassie Steele, who played Manny, because there's a joke that Craig said, I can't go out with Manny, she reminds me of my half-little sister, because the actresses who play her are sisters. Then Tori Santos, aka also who played young Angela. Why couldn't they bring Alex Steele back as Angela? Because then at least she would have had some connection to Emma. She would have had a connection to Mr. Simpson, because Mr. Simpson and Joey are best friends. They would have at least had some level of connection, or she would have referred to him as uncle at least, but not this Tori Santos person. She dated Zig. No storylines for her, really, other than her being a beauty queen. She just was a character. Griffin. Oh, I forgot to mention Griffin. Griffin, born HIV positive and almost affected Paige with it. Somewhat boring character. He was an character. Who else? Okay, now for the Asian characters, and they also don't do adoptive characters very well. Let's see. sorry. I hate this. I really hate this glare in my glasses, so sorry if I keep adjusting. So, Asian characters. Kendra, anyone remember Kendra? Remember her? Don't worry, I'll wait. Yeah. Sometimes I forget she was a character. She is, Spinner's adoptive little sister. Younger sister. Her and Toby had a thing, and she had potential to be a very interesting character, because I wish they would have explored more of her history, and had a whole storyline of how she became adopted, and Spinner accepting that. And she is Spinner's sister. I don't know what happened to her. She just sort of fell off, and she was also listed as a regular, and she played lacrosse, and she liked anime. But as far as storylines, terrible. Only being Toby's love interest in middle school. Yeah, she deserved better. She had, as said again, potential to be a very interesting, dynamic character. Nope. Gone. We don't know what happened to her. She just sort of disappeared. Leah Chang. Whoo, my gosh. She was sort of a duh character. She is boring. She's just boring. That's all get out. Like, she is a compulsive liar. She's not interesting. She dated Danny Van Zant. She just disappeared, although I thought she had better chemistry with Derek Haig, but whatever. No storyline for her at all. They didn't do her justice. They just don't know how to write people of color very well. And it's so irritating. And they give all the mental illnesses to white males. All of them go to white males. Oh! Another character that I forgot to mention in the black character list, Dallas. At least he had somewhat of a great storyline. He has a kid. He's dating Ali Vandari. Ali Vandari, by the way, you're dumb when it comes to boys. You had all your storylines when it comes to boys, girl, you are just completely stupid, except for Dallas, who stood up for you. Again, although I did like Dallas. I do like the idea of Dallas and Fiona, even though Fiona's a lesbian. But anyway, Dallas has a kid named Rocky. He had a drinking problem. What happened to that? Like, does he suddenly not have a drinking problem anymore? Or what? I'm so confused. Let's see. He got into a fight with Eli. We never met his parents. We knew he was upset and almost jumped off the building for Cam's death, but can I really think of other storylines he's gotten? Now keep in mind, I haven't watched all the seasons, but most of the episodes I've watched, they just do not know. They don't give good storylines to people of color. This is what I'm noticing. Okay. Ali Vandari. At least we got to meet her parents. We got to know a little about her background and how she ran away. So they wrote her pretty well. Except for the fact, when it comes to boys, as I said, she's so stupid. The thing with Johnny was an boyfriend. It was kind of weird because he was 18, she was 14 at the time. A few years older. Who else? Sav, pretty decent storylines, not too terrible. Kendra could have potentially interesting storylines. Could have had potentially interesting storylines because I said she's adopted, and they don't even look into the fact that she's adopted or her trying to get in touch with her birth parents. So I'd like to know more. I would have liked to know more about that. How would she would have how would she have responded to Spinner getting expelled from school over the Rick thing? How would she have responded to Terry being in a coma? That's another thing too. When was the last time we had someone who actually looked like Terry on Degrassi? Because she was beautiful. She could have had an interesting storyline. We met her dad once. Yeah, we haven't had anyone that looked like Terry since the Rick thing. Paige, I'm not saying Paige is fat, but she wasn't too thin either. She's kind of more filled out. And I'm not trying to body shame skinny people or fat people. It's just, I only see like one body type on Degrassi of skinny people. Who else do they know? Oh, Winston, Miles' best friend. What happened to that? He dated Frankie. They broke up. Frankie's also dumb when it comes to boys. She's a bit possessive. And then, does he even have a storyline? I can't even think of a time he got a storyline other than him trying to date Zoe. That was just weird. Winston, like, no storylines for him. So Winston deserves some storylines. I don't know why the fandom hates him. Let's see. Who else? Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much. Oh, Esme. Well, for as far as what she knows, she's a little psychotic, but now we're understanding why, because her mom killed herself. She's a little nuts. Her mom died of an overdose. Her dad blames her that she might have mental health issues, because from what I've noticed about how Degrassi and how they portray mental health, it's a pattern of white boys. And I'm not saying that white boys don't get mentally ill, but from what I've seen, it's been a pattern of mentally ill white boys. Craig with bipolar. Eli, bipolar. And they always give them girlfriends to, like, deal with, and Ashley dealing with Craig and his bipolarness, and, like, I get that you love him, but seriously, yeah. Eli, he's not my favorite character, not because he's bipolar, but because of the fact he wrote a play demonizing Claire, and then he crashes Hearst, and that was just a weird relationship. Who else? Miles with the whole wanting to kill himself. I don't know if he wanted to kill himself, but he had some psychological issues that he put a lot of stress on Maya. Hunter brought a gun to school and threatened Maya with swatting. He swatted her, which is where the police barged into your house. Yeah. Who else? Yeah. So Degrassi, write people of color better. I hope you have a nice day. If you think Degrassi can write people of color better, or write any minorities better, let me know in the comments below, and have a nice one.